So when I first arrived in Spain, I absolutely hated it. When we live with curiosity and embrace the unknown, we grow in the ways that we could have never imagined. So today, I'm pretty determined to actually go out and get some work done and open water scuba certified. So I head out to a coffee shop, which I think is named Rose, and I'm trying to get this work done. I didn't stay in that one for very long because it was too warm, so I kept it pushing and I moved to this other coffee shop that I found called Wells. And so now I'm actually, hopefully it's going to be a nice one and enjoy it, and we'll actually see. I get set up, I got my main character energy going and everything's feeling good, got my matcha, but I keep hearing some noise to the right of me and I see this guy doing some type of chemistry experience. And I'm really trying to focus, but there's like smells going on, there's this noise, and it's really piquing my curiosity. So then I say, no, I'm gonna focus. But let's be real, that doesn't last very long. And I get up and I go to the guy and I just start asking him questions. Right off the bat, I end up learning that coffee is actually green and it comes from cherries, specifically coffee cherries, and they are the seeds from this fruit. And here he heats it up to 400 Fahrenheit. It has to pour it out because it's too hot for you to touch. You'll burn yourself. And it cools down on this machine as it spreads it around. So here, with the different gadgets, you're able to get your different roast levels, light, medium, dark, even that nasty flavored coffee that people seem to like, including the lighter roast, which tastes, in my opinion, much better. And their coffees come from all different types of parts of the world. So if you're in this cafe, really take a moment, be curious, and ask Connor about the coffee making process. And even though I had a great time, I had to get back to work. You know, there's something about being open to the unexpected experiences and staying curious that really has this ability to transform the way that we view the world. I've actually experienced this in my own life a few years back when I wanted to go to Italy. Actually, I wanted to move to Italy. And for about 2 years, I was planning everything, and for the most part, I had everything set up, and I applied for Fulbright application. But of course, I did not get in, and I was actually really crushed by this. This very much hurt my spirit. And it felt like all these plans that I had made and was hoping for, they just had fallen apart, and I didn't really feel like there was anything I could do. So I told a friend about this, and I got this opportunity to teach in Spain. It was very, unexpected in the sense of I did not know it existed. I did not ever look for it. I never even thought about moving to Spain. I wasn't even sure where Spain was. And to be honest, showing my ignorance, I didn't know Spain was in Europe. But my friend told me about it, so I decided to give it a shot. I applied, and even though it wasn't exactly what I originally envisioned, and I still couldn't envision it in the moment even when I applied, I got in. So when I first arrived in Spain, I absolutely hated it. I'm not even gonna lie, like the first 3 months, it was not what I expected. I had trouble with the language barrier, even though I had learned some Spanish previously, especially living in South Florida. It was a bit of a cultural shock in the sense of the US, we are to go, always trying to do the most, always working, being busy. You get rewarded with extra work. But there, it was very calm and chill. And also, it was cold. Spain is cold for about 8 months of the year, and I hadn't expected that, especially looking at things like Instagram. So it wasn't at all what I imagined. But after a few months, things started to slowly change for me, and I started to enjoy it. And I think this is because I became more open to the experience and the way of life over there and enjoying that. So I end up learning that sometimes the best things in life come from embracing when we're uncomfortable. I was able to learn that kids are very unfiltered, and they're just little, and they have deep curiosities, and they're deep people with all these feelings, and just as complex as adults, and should be treated with a lot of care and respect. And I was able to embrace solitude, and I traveled so much more across Europe and throughout Spain because of this wonderful opportunity that I had not seen. And I made a good friend there, Kendall. Thanks so much, Kendall. Thank you. And she introduced me to self-care and that, like, self-care routines, and that actually really stuck with me. So all of these things, initially I saw moving there as a setback, but really it was a curvetail for my life, and it actually ends up setting the tone for how I wanted to live my life, because I enjoyed the lifestyle so much. It taught me to take things slow, enjoy, and then the unexpected journeys are really where all the magic happens in life. That's where the true magic is. I also come to realize and want to embrace the power of curiosity, and that's something that I really encourage others to do. So, again, years ago, I was at a bonfire on the beach one night with friends, and suddenly I saw these lights kind of like floating in the sky, and my initial thought was, of course, aliens. That's clearly aliens over there, but they look so close. Let me go check it out. So I followed these lights out there, and they actually led me to these group of people who were all friends, and they were getting together and they were releasing lanterns in the sky. And at first I thought, oh, this must be like a lantern party or something really fun, something celebratory. But it all started with me asking one question, the same question I asked the guy at the coffee shop. What are you doing? I said, hey, what are you guys doing? And one guy told me, we're releasing lanterns. And I said, oh, why? Why are you doing that? That looks fun. He's like, our friend just died. I feel like my whole mood and personality in that sense changed, because these lanterns they were releasing was an act of healing for them. It really kind of changed my perspective of going up to people and just talking with them, in the sense that, I tend to approach life with curiosity, but I realized we can also discover a deeper and more meaningful connection to people and places and the moments that we could otherwise, overlook. And that everyone has multiple things going on in their life, and everyone has deep meaning, and everyone has stuff that they care about. So we can come together in these shared spaces, take the ocean or a coffee shop or somewhere else, but we can learn something wonderful and sometimes transformative from each other if we just take these moments to ask questions to one another and listen to each other. These moments of curiosities, they open my eyes to the fact that everything, every place, every person, every situation, they really have their own story and meaning. And it taught me to be more mindful of what's around me and to approach life with an openness, which is why I don't have problems going up to people and asking them questions about, hey, what are you doing? Oh, what's that? Hey, when's whatever, who, what, when, where, all the questions, because there's so much to learn from each other. So both of these experiences, Spain, the beach, they taught me the powerfulness to stay curious, embrace life with what life throws at you. And life will throw a whole bunch of unexpected things, but these unexpected things often lead us to the most important lessons that we need to learn in life. And those moments of curiosity that we learn more about ourselves and the world around us, which is so fundamental and so important for our growth and just development. And this really is what intentional living is all about. It's about staying open to life's surprises and letting go of rigid expectations. You can't be the person who's going to be like, A plus C plus C will equal D, because sometimes that's not going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get a pi symbol in there, a triangle, and a number. And what are you going to do if you can't bend to these changes, if you can't adapt? Okay? It's just not going to work. So you're going to have to start trusting that journey of your life. And no matter how winding it is, and believe me, it's going to be winding and bumpy and hilly. It's got lessons to teach you. It will teach you what you need to know. When we live with curiosity and embrace the unknown, we grow in the ways that we could have never imagined. It's like that saying, God's got a bigger gift and a plan that you can't even imagine. Or I think it's like, God laughs at men for making plan. Always a bigger plan for you. It's so much better than what you thought it was. But you gotta be open to it. And you gotta start knowing more of yourself. So, if you've ever had any moments where you've embraced the unexpected, or just even if you followed your curiosity and it changed your perspective, share it with me. Share it with the other blossoms here in this academy. That's really how we all grow and get to interact more with each other. And I just want you to remember, if you take anything away from today, just take this. Life is not always going to go according to your plan. But if you keep open, curious, and present in the moment, it tends to lead you exactly where you need to go. And that's a beautiful place to be. All right. Ciao.